Hello, people. It's day 10. 10 days of daily chats. Making progress. I'm sticking to it. Of course, I had a plan for today. Had this thing all done for today. And then I got one of the nicest notes from a classmate this morning. And it changed everything. And I was thinking, how long have I known this person? And I started thinking, oh my God, it has to be before kindergarten. We met before kindergarten. Her grandparents lived next door to us there in East Blanchie, and we didn't go to the same elementary school, but we joined up together in junior high, 7th grade, and we're in band together all the way from 7th through the end of our senior years. And we always knew each other and were around the same kind of people and whatnot. So it's kind of weird to think there are people out there that aren't family that have known me that long. Isn't that interesting? But what was it about this note that changed my mind about what I was going to talk about today? She said in there, you should be a college professor. And I started thinking, oh, here we go down that path. Let's talk about that path. Back when I was a child, I think I was probably exhibiting smartness, probably greater than my parents really knew what to do with. It's not a dig on them. But they would always say things, oh, you're just trying to be a professor. Or they, would throw out, oh, professor, or something like that at me. And after a while, that shuts you down. And like my middle sister, she became a straight A student. And that was fodder for them to pick on. I think it was a little bit of jealousy or envy because they weren't great students themselves. Smart people, but not great in book learning. And I would attribute that to laziness on my dad's part, and I think my mom was probably dyslexic, because as I look back on just some of the things and knowing people now who are dyslexic of that age or a little bit younger, I'm going, I'll bet that's it. And let's face it, in the 40s in backwoods of Arkansas, you probably weren't going to get any help for it. So anyway, through most of my 40s, I was unpacking all of the trauma and the hurts and the wounds and stuff like that from growing up there and in that place with those people and the whole 9 yards. We all have our stuff that we have to get through. And I really thought that was over in my 40s. And then, oh no, here's another load in the 50s. And I remember a number of years ago, the thought came to me, just what would have been so wrong with a business card that said, Roger A. Berger, PhD, professor of religion or music or both or economics. Just what would have been so bad about that? And yeah, what would have been so bad? It's like, I see that now. That had I been true to myself back in college, back when I was starting my adult life, that probably would have been more of the track that I would have taken. And that's probably the track that I should have been on. And yes, I'm using words like should have and alluding to regret and all that. Because I'm at the point in life now where I've got to reclaim what little of it's left. Yes, it's another 25, 30 years, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. And the real issue here is not to let lives get that way. For those of you with kids, grandkids, even if your kids are grown, always be watching them, asking, is this the right path for you? And be supportive. I think my parents knew that I was way off path, way off track. And they had no idea how to help me get back on track. And with us, it was more like out of sight, out of mind. You will not find as good of a person who can do out of sight, out of mind like this guy here. Perfect at it. And mom said a couple things in her later years before the Alzheimer's. So I knew that it was, yeah, they realized they goofed as parents. So my invitation to you is to think about it with your own kids, your grandkids. Do you have nieces and nephews? Just check in with them, be with them, and just say, is this working? Not? Yeah, no. And if it's not, how can you be of support? A friend of mine, we're more like acquaintances, but I'll call him a friend anyway. His name's Chris Angel. He has a program called Marketing for the Rest of Us and does a podcast. I met him back in the late 2000s, about 10 years ago, when he was with Keller Williams. And I remember meeting him and thinking, you're just not like the rest of these people around here. And he went off to do his own thing. And so he's got this thing now, this Marketing for the Rest of Us program that he's working on. But the other day he turned 44 and he had 4 lessons in life that he's learned at the age of 44. And one of those lessons was to always cherish the relationship with your family. So every day he makes sure to say something nice to his wife, his son who's 15, and daughter who I think is about 12, to acknowledge whatever their uniqueness is, whatever their gift is. And I was just so impressed by that. It's like, those kids must have won the parent lottery or something like that. But I think it's something we can all do with our relatives, our kids, if we have them, grandkids. Some of the people my age are starting to have grandkids, and whole scads of them. So kids, grandkids, your nieces and nephews, whatever it is, friends' kids, what can we do to support those who are coming up behind us? And I think that'll be our biggest gift we leave behind. And with that, I sign off. Peace, friends.